What is going on, guys? If you guys are watching this video right now, I'm going to keep this under 5 minutes and teach you guys and help you guys really understand the process that goes behind the scene on how we help a lot of our clients, and you can do it yourself too, on acquiring and maximizing business credit approval at no interest upwards of 200,000 in 90 days or less. Just because this entire blueprint framework has been executed and also been taught to over 500 plus entrepreneurs in the past couple of years. As a funding company, I think it's imperative, important, essential for you guys to understand how this entire process works, so you can either do it yourself or have the experts do it for you in this case. And keep in mind, implementation or execution is going to be a big part of this, because I'm giving you all of the information that we teach a lot of our clients on, and I just want to make sure that you guys fully understand the framework and the structure and the blueprint that goes behind it, right? So in order for you guys to even get some sort of approvals on the business credit end, it really comes down to number one, your how powerful and ideal your personal credit report and file looks like, right? Because at the end of the day, it's easy to create a new business, to show that to the bank, but a lot of times that's not enough history for them to really come up with a consensus on why they should give you business credit lines and really trust that business model in order for them to kind of like give you any sort of capital. So the thing that they really rely on at the end of the day, if they can't have that data just because it's such a brand new business or it's only been in business for a year or a couple years, is you want to make sure you structure your personal credit report to the way that you want it to be by following these parameters, right? So number one, you want to make sure your FICO 8 score, which again, there are over 30 different versions of FICO 8 scores. Not FICO 8 scores, FICO scores. You want to make sure you focus on the FICO 8 and making sure that is ideally over 700 or 720 plus. And the reason why is because the FICO 8 scores is what the lender is going to pull for business credit and personal credit purposes, right? So they don't look at your mortgage score. They don't look at your, that's why, sometimes you log into your credit report, you can see different scores, different scoring models tailored to what type of credit or financing that you're trying to look for. So in this case, you want to make sure you follow the FICO 8 score, and having that above 700 will put you in the ideal state. You also want to make sure you don't have too many inquiries. So less than 3 hard inquiries in the past 6 months per credit bureau, and the main 3 credit bureau is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, because the less that you're seeking for credit, the more credit you can actually apply for, just because when the lenders view your credit report, they can see that you're not someone that's in need of credit, right? So ultimately the game is lenders like to grant credit or give credit to people that are not really looking for it or in need for it at the end of the day, right? So this is why this is something that you can manipulate and also remove off your credit report with some of our expedited services, or you can do your own by simply going on Google and seeing how to remove credit inquiries off your credit accounts or off your credit report in this case. You want to make sure you keep it on 30% or even 20% each single revolving account that you have on your personal credit, because the less that you're using the credit, again, the more that they're willing to give you in that case, right? Absolutely no late payments or derogatory marks, collection charge-offs. Those are a no-no when it comes to lenders, because what makes you think, if you have defaulted on payments in the past, what makes you think they're going to give you credit? So you want to show some sort of clean history. And again, credit repair or doing credit restoration on your own can help you resolve that if that is a situation that you're kind of stuck under. And here's 2 key parts as well. You also want to make sure that one of your accounts, what they pretty much use is called comparable credit. When they do an analysis on your credit report, they want to see what the other banks are giving you. So you want to make sure that one of your revolving accounts is over the limit of 10,000. And the way that you can work around that is actually combining credit lines from other accounts into one single account, have that reported. So now when the lenders actually pull your credit, they can see that you have a credit card at the 10,000, 20,000 high limits, and they're willing to match that or give you a higher amount in order to get your business, right? So at the end of the day, another thing to keep in mind is that your business age of history, regardless of if you have P&L statements, financial tax returns, or financial statements in the past 3 months with deposits, all you need is just a 1 to 2 years minimum of like credit history, right? Make sure that it's active and you can check that with the Secretary of State. And then you can also, in order to pull your credit report, use Experian or MyFICO. Those 2 are one of my favorite credit monitoring service that can really analyze or help you understand in a holistic standpoint, and also breaks everything down user-friendly as well. So I also keep those factors in mind when it comes to signing up for one of those credit monitoring service, right? So you can check your FICO 8 scores and make sure there's no fraud alert or freezes, because that will hinder your process and really delay a lot of the funding that you do. Number two is really understanding how to develop a customized game plan, right? So everybody's credit profile is different. Everybody's end goal is different. If you're trying to get into real estate, you want to look for cars that are 0% balance transfer, 0% interest for a longer timeline based on the project that you're getting into. If you're using it, if you're getting capital to scale your business, you want to see if you want cash back to increase your cash flow, or you want rewards points because you travel a lot and you want to take advantage of those, right? So understanding that and basing it off your prioritization is really going to help you structure your what we call application credit stacking sequence, right? So at the end of the day, we use something called Bank Branch Locator, and we prioritize banks, credit unions, institutions, regional banks within your area, and focus on those banks, because those banks within your area are always going to lend to your zip code specifically, and you want to focus on those type of banks that also filter out the ones that don't ask for any tax returns or documents being submitted, and then it's pretty much a no doc type of process, right? And then lastly, you really want to make sure that you leverage banking relationship managers, because these people are going to be your partners within the business and everything that you do. So building those relationships with the bankers, they will actually go above and beyond and request for a higher limit for you on your behalf and help you expedite some of those applications that normally takes months and months to have completed, right? So basically, at the end of it, once you have all of those data points, once you understand which banks you want to apply for based on your zip code, your area, and which ones that you have the highest possibility and opportunity to get approved for a high limit, you want to understand each of these banks' application rules. Some banks are sensitive with inquiries, so they want to see less than X amount of inquiries per bureau. Some are, usage, type of sensitive. They want to make sure your credit limits compared to the credit usage is under a certain percentage. So this is where having all of that data is going to really help you, come up with a thesis of the best credit banks to go for, the type of limits, the products, and et cetera, right? So this is where we definitely want to help you, because it can be a lucrative process. It takes a lot of understanding. It takes a lot of data. So we streamline this entire process that we did with 500 other entrepreneurs and condense it down for you, and we actually do this process for you, right? So this is then where we apply for all the application in a 10-minute window. So the keyword is 10-minute, right? This will allow us to gamify what each institution will see when pulling your credit, because each institution that pull your credit when you're applying is going to pull from the different credit bureaus. And basically what we're doing is we're taking advantage of the reporting time. So sometimes if you apply for 10 banks, they're not able to see other banks that's been pulling your credit bureaus, just because we're applying for everything in just a short period of time. And sometimes there's a delay in reporting, right? And then once you get approved once you get approved, or if there's a pending or decline application, we actually work with you to get those overturned. And then for application you get approved for, we actually help you expand those credit limit over time as well, right? So keep in mind, you guys are leaving a lot of money on the table if you guys are not taking advantage of this process, just because at the end of the day, the way you should look at it is, as long as you have everything structured, it's just like me coming up to you and saying, hey, John, here's 150,000 of 0%. You don't have to pay me any interest, only the principal in the next 12 to 15 months. And then on top of that, you earn points, cash back, rewards points, travel points as kind of like extra incentive for using our products, right? So this is an area of like banking that everybody should understand, because it's so applicable to each and every one of you, if you're an investor or a business owner in that case, right? So if you guys are interested in learning more, I know I'm well beyond the 5-minute mark, but make sure to comment down below. And then also, if you're interested in learning more and want to speak to one of our team to see how we can help you throughout this 3-step process, just make sure you schedule a time with us, or comment down below if you have any questions, reply to this video or the text message, and then I'll have a team member reach out to you and see how we can customize this entire experience to getting you that funding goal that you want to meet. Okay, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.